Oh no, not this bastard again. What the hell's he doing a movie? Bloody hell. What do you reckon of this, Gary?
Oh, it's crazy.
So, basically what I did, so I'd get sharp lines, is I cut out a stencil I made of a skull I drew. So, that's him there. And basically where I wanted the darker lines on the skull, I basically cut those out so I could airbrush into them. Basically how it looked before I cut it. And then I sticky taped it onto a bit of paper at first. So I could see what sort of effects I did. So this is a bit of paper one. Just put the stuff up. But it's basically lightning skulls. There you go. Just sort of try and redeem it just by doing a bit of a lightning effect around it. Bit of fun. Anyway, so I did him, but because I did a stencil and I really wanted to do a good picture, basically I thought, well, I've got a canvas, I want to do it properly, and basically what I did was just flip you around so you can see. Okay, so this is my skull design, and yeah, it'll be finished before too long. I'm actually thinking of doing the lightning effect again, just working out the best way for me to do it. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, so basically got the airbrush. What I'm going to do is just spray around the outside of that picture so I can continue to get a full background. I want to create kind of a cloudy effect, because what I would like is to do a lightning effect coming out of it. So I'll just show you what I'm doing. Basically just going around the outside of the skull. Oh yeah, this is going to work on camera because I've already done it before. And this is actually only my second attempt at doing this particular skull design. So, let's see what we got. But there it is, just spraying up, trying to create sort of a cloud effect. And then what I'll do is lightning bolts coming away from the skull, and see what happens from there. Okay. Hope this works. Like I said, it's only the first time I've done this sort of stuff. I'm not really an airbrush master or anything, and I've only just sort of got the airbrush fired up for the first time on the weekend. I do a lot of drawing, similar. You're just squirting out paint out of guns, but the effect you can get from holding it closer or further away are a lot different. So yeah, there we go. Just about done down the bottom here now. Sort of almost like the skull's coming out of a tornado, I guess. Get some lightning effect coming off that. Okay, so that sort of gives the clouded effect of the skull being the centre of the storm. And yeah, now I'll airbrush out and see what I can get from there. So I've done all the shading I want to do on the skull itself. From the original stencil, the sharper lines, which you can see around the eyes and the actual eyes themselves. Trick I learnt watching YouTube actually. A good way of having a bit of fun with the eyes is if you actually leave them lighter in the middle, so it looks like you've got a ghost eye in the middle of there, so there's a bit of power to the skull's eyes, which looks kind of groovy. I've shaded in the teeth a little bit based on the light source sort of being in front of the skull. Like I said, it's my first time, so there might be a few little mistakes on the lighting effects for it, but I'm not too worried about that. Just shading in just a little bit up here on the skull a bit more. That looks pretty good. Yeah, cool. Alright, now lightning. Basically what I've got to do is empty out my airbrush. You'll notice I've got tape around the top of the lid. Because I'm flat, if I don't have that, the paint's going to pour out. So I use that as a handy hint if you're an airbrush artist and you never thought of that. Well, there you go, there's my hint for you. Okay, well, I'll tip this out. I'll clean up the airbrush, basically the paint. Got to remove all the paint. I use Windex to clean out the gun. Just the clear Windex. If you use the blue Windex, you'll end up with a tint. That's another hint I heard off a hobby airbrush artist. Yeah, so basically I left out the bottom jaw of the design because I thought the top part was pretty cool, so I thought I'd leave just the top part of the skull there. And I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I'll brush it a little bit more in there, it's a bit darker. Yeah. A little bit more sinister that way. Yeah. Cool, okay. Lightning effects. Let's see what I can do. Okay, because I'm creating a lightning effect, this particular blue might be a little bit dark, so I'll just add in a bit of white. Lighten up my blue for the lightning. I'll try that first. I won't. Trick with mixing paint, don't go all out all at once. If you do that, yeah, you're going to be using a lot more paint than what you want when you try and lighten it up. So, little bits at a time, little step. I'll mix this up and show you the colour in a minute. Okay, so there's my blue. I'll just use this amount because I'm not doing a whole scene like the actual skull itself where I had to use a fair whack of black. I haven't actually used any white, that's just all black because I used the stencil and sprayed through the stencil, then highlighted afterwards. I didn't actually have to use any white paint. You might want to use white paint if you make a mistake in your highlighting and you want to just make it a bit lighter in certain spots. Not a problem at all. Okay, so I'm all masked up and ready to go again. Now, I want to protect the skull. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stencil back over it that I made, which is just there. I'm going to use the stencil to protect the main skull. I'm just going to highlight around it very lightly in the blue and create the lightning effect behind it. We'll see how we go. Okay, so I've given the skull a blue halo, and now what I'm going to do is do some lightning bolts out from it. So what I'll do is I'll use some blue and I'll use some white. The white I'll use after I use the blue just to highlight and yeah, make it a little bit stronger in the lightning. Okay, see how we go. Okay, now to give you an idea of the lightning effect, it's really quite quick, very simple. Basically all I'm doing is taking the pen from the centre, which is broken in this case. I'm running it down from the centre and then breaking off in highlights. What I'll do is where I get slightly darker globs, I'll be using white over those just to highlight a little bit more. But that's yeah. So basically just get your air flowing like that, and for me. Okay, so that's basically it for that. Now I'll add in some white and see how we go from there. Cool. Okay, so I'm highlighting the lightning bolts. I've done pale, light light blue, but what I'm doing now is a real pale blue, and I'm going right in. Alright, and there we have it. There's my end result. Skull with lightning bolts. I would have shown you a little bit more, but my camera actually went flat on the battery, and yeah, but there she is. My first ever canvas. It was done by me, Matthew Hollins. And check that out. My first signature in paint. Well, that's crap, but hey, that's alright. That's it. That, sir, is my skull. Freaking awesome. Yeah, seriously gotta love that. That's mine. My first canvas. Awesome.